TomoNews presents Scuba Diving.
Meet Deep Blue, the biggest great white shark ever filmed. An environmental conservation group has released footage of probably the biggest great white shark anyone has ever seen. The video, taken in 2013, was only made public via Facebook on Monday by Mauricio Hoyos Padilla, director of Pelagio Cancuja Marine Conservation in Mexico. The shark was filmed near Isla Guadalupe, a volcanic island west of Mexico. The shark has been named Deep Blue. She measures a staggering 20 feet long. That's only 10 feet shy of the size of an average whale shark. The group also estimated that she is around 50 years old. And good news if you like big sharks, they think Deep Blue was pregnant. In June, Padilla told Live Science that the shark was swimming too close to the diving cage. The dive master tried to gently push the shark away so it didn't get hurt by the pointed corners of the cage. However, Deep Blue was so big that she could not even turn properly. Great white sharks typically average around 15 feet in length and generally weigh up to 5,000 pounds. Females are known to swim close to shore when giving birth.
Diver gives monstrous great white shark a high five. If you saw this enormous shark swimming right up to you, wouldn't you scramble into your cage as fast as your flippers could carry you? Not this guy. A video that's making the rounds online shows what might be the largest shark ever filmed underwater. In it, shark expert Mauricio Hoyos Padilla exits his cage to high-five the beast. The great white shark, named Deep Blue, is an estimated 20 feet long. The average great white measures roughly 14 feet, still more than twice the diver's height. Deep Blue was first spotted off the coast of Mexico's Guadalupe Island during Discovery's 2014 Shark Week filming. The team managed to tag Deep Blue, whom they estimate to be about 50 years old. The team, which included Mauricio, says the shark was pregnant at the time of filming, meaning she was likely super hungry. Mauricio, you're lucky you've still got that high-fiving hand, and the rest of you.
Fisherman rips out diver's air supply 50 feet underwater. This video, taken on May 8th by conservationist Rene Umberger off the coast of Kona, Hawaii, shows two men collecting fish. Then one of the men suddenly attacks Umberger and rips her air supply out of her mouth. Umberger was swimming at a depth of 50 feet and documenting the state of the reef. She spotted two men collecting reef fish, which is legal in certain circumstances. But then, one of the men darts over to Umberger from a great distance. He grabbed her air regulator out of her mouth, preventing her from breathing. Some divers have a spare regulator, but many dive without one to reduce bulk. For example, the attacker did not have a spare, meaning if somebody attacked him in the same way, it could be fatal. At 50 feet deep, it's not impossible to swim to the surface on one breath, but if the diver has been deep underwater for a long time, the expansion of accumulated nitrogen in her blood could cause symptoms ranging from pain to death. Luckily, Umberger remained calm and was able to put her regulator back in after not breathing for 30 seconds. Incredibly, the state investigator told Umberger her attacker would be charged, but so would she, for harassment. Umberger is known in Hawaii for her years of advocacy against aquarium fish collection, even where the state has legalized the practice. This has put her at odds with local fishermen who rely on the aquarium industry for a living.
Florida underwater caves claim two more divers' lives. Two divers died last weekend exploring an underwater cave system in Florida, known to be one of the world's most beautiful, but also most dangerous diving sites. The bodies of 53-year-old Patrick Peacock and 38-year-old Chris Rittenmeyer were found by rescue divers in the Eagle's Nest cave system on Monday. Eagle's Nest is also known as the Lost Sink. Divers access the underwater caves through a pond in the Kasawitzka Wildlife Refuge. Among divers, the caves are considered the Mount Everest or Grand Canyon of diving sites for their stunning views and extreme depths. The treacherous tunnels contain around a mile of passages, some of them more than 300 feet deep. Peacock and Rittenmeyer explored deep into the caves on Sunday, while a third diver, Justin Blakely, stayed closer to the surface. Blakely raised the alarm when his two friends failed to show up on time at a predetermined meeting point. The two dead divers later were found in a complex part of the cave system. They are the 9th and 10th divers to lose their lives at Eagle's Nest since 1981. Both men were experienced cave divers and had explored the site before. A Florida man whose son and grandson died at Eagle's Nest on Christmas Day 2013 renewed calls for the site to be closed in the wake of Peacock and Rittenmeyer's deaths. Foreign diver found dead off beach in Thailand. Police in Thailand are investigating the death of an unidentified man, possibly a Russian national, who was found on Friday with his throat slit near the resort of Pattaya. A jet ski driver discovered the body tied to a concrete pole near Samay Beach on the island of Kolar, a short boat ride from Pattaya. The victim was wearing a diver's wetsuit and flippers. Police found a backpack strapped to the victim containing 1,500 Thai baht. The cops said the man was white, around 5 feet 6 inches tall, and between 45 and 50 years old. On Saturday, police divers found a snorkel, a cutter, a swimming cap, swimming goggles, and other items on the seafloor near the concrete pole. Police later questioned a fisherman and his wife. On Sunday, they also spoke with the owner of a resort on the beach. None of them recognized the victim. However, the owner of a dive shop told police that the victim looked like one of his clients. Police are checking CCTV footage from Samay Beach and are looking for people on Kolar and mainland Pattaya who might be able to offer further leads. Cops said on Thursday that witnesses heard the victim speaking Russian. The body has been transferred to Bangkok for an autopsy. Scuba diver survives 18-hour ordeal in shark-infested waters. A 68-year-old man is lucky to be alive after spending 18 hours lost at sea this week. John Lucky Les Brierley was swimming off the coast in Queensland, Australia at a dive spot called Yongala Wreck when he got pulled away by a powerful current. A friend alerted authorities when he didn't return. But little did his buddy know that Brierley was being pulled some 50 kilometers away into shark-infested waters. The deep blue had taken him to Cape Upstart. That area is reportedly home to sharks. A search and rescue was launched for him, and he was eventually pulled from the water at around 11 a.m. on Monday. Thankfully, Brierley survived the ordeal and was treated for a mild case of hypothermia.
Champion freediver vanishes during recreational dive. The search for the world's most famous freediver was set to resume on Wednesday, 3 days after she disappeared during a dive off Spain's Balearic Islands. Natalie Molchanova was on a recreational freedive with 3 fellow divers off Formentera, an island near Ibiza, on Sunday. The 53-year-old world diving champion attached a neck weight and dove 30 to 40 meters below the surface without fins or a guideline. When she failed to surface, her companions conducted a brief search before using a radio to call for help. A search operation involving the local Coast Guard was launched on Sunday afternoon. An underwater robot was deployed to assist with the search on Tuesday. Molchanova could hold her breath for 9 minutes, but she was diving in an area known for its strong and unpredictable underwater currents. Another potential hazard is a thermocline, a transition layer between shallow water and deep water where the temperature drops suddenly, which can shock a diver's system. Molchanova became the only woman to dive to 100 meters on a single breath at the Freediving World Championships in Greece in 2013. She has set 41 world records and won 23 world championships.
Sharkwater filmmaker disappears on dive. The U.S. Coast Guard is searching for a Canadian movie director and conservationist who went missing in waters off Miami. On Tuesday, filmmaker Rob Stewart went diving with a small group of people near the wreck of the Queen of Nassau in the Florida Keys. The group dove to depths of nearly 70 meters as part of filming for the sequel to Stewart's 2006 documentary Sharkwater. Stewart surfaced at around 5:15 p.m. along with a fellow diver who passed out as he got onto the boat and required attention from the crew. By the time the crew was ready to retrieve Stewart, the filmmaker had gone back under. The crew was unable to locate him and contacted the Coast Guard for help. 2 boats and a helicopter were dispatched to the area to search for the missing diver, but have yet to find him. The dive Stewart was on was particularly difficult. Though experienced, his family believe it may have taken its toll on him after the 3rd try, leading him to lose consciousness. Diving robot finds sunken treasure. A robot developed by Stanford University researchers could help us get to parts of the ocean that human divers just can't reach. The diving robot was deployed last month to retrieve sunken treasure from an ancient shipwreck off the coast of France. The robot returned with a vase from La Lune, the flagship of France's King Louis XIV, which sunk in 1664. The Ocean One robot is designed to take on tasks that are either dangerous or beyond the limits of divers. The humanoid robot, which is roughly 5 feet long, is controlled by a pilot on the surface. The pilot can see exactly what the robot sees through 2 forward-facing cameras. Ocean One's hands are fitted with sensors, which provide haptic feedback to the pilot's joystick. The pilot can feel whether the robot is gripping something light or heavy, firm or delicate. Ocean One is powered by thrusters and navigates with sensors and cameras, which help it compute how to avoid collisions. Researchers hope the robot can be used to study coral reefs located below depths that humans can dive to comfortably. There's also plans to enhance the robot's sensitivity by adding tactile sensors to each finger. The vase recovered by Ocean One from the shipwreck was reportedly covered in ocean junk and smelled like raw oysters, but was in good condition.
Want to see what happens when a whale is having a really crappy day? These pictures come to us from diver Kerry Wilk, who got caught up in the underwater shitstorm off the coast of the Dominican Republic. He and 3 other divers had planned an epic day of swimming with a pod of sperm whales in what he describes as, quote, the most crystal clear Caribbean blue water you can imagine. Unbeknownst to them, though, that water was about to get a lot murkier thanks to Doo-Doo the whale here, whose stomach was on the fritz. The animal dropped what is probably the most massive deuce ever recorded on video, covering about 100 meters in all directions with its stank on ya. Wilkes says it got in his eyes and mouth. It was everywhere. Once clear of the poo-nado, the clear ocean water washed it away. He still took an extra long shower though, just in case.
A Japanese bus driver from Onagawa, Miyagi, took a diving course in the hope of finding his wife, still missing following the 2011 tsunami, according to a Wednesday report in the local newspaper. Doting husband Yasuo Takamatsu, in his 50s, went to a local scuba diving center in Ishinomaki, Miyagi, with a sense of purpose. His 47-year-old wife, Yuko, was evacuated to the roof of a local bank during the devastating tsunami, but was engulfed by the waves, leaving her missing and presumed dead. Takamatsu received a last text from her before her death. It read, "Are you alright? I want to go home." Ever since then, he has combed wreckage and walked nearby beaches searching in vain for his beloved Yuko. He also kept a close eye on the Coast Guard Office's search for survivors, but this got him wondering whether he could continue the search himself. Determined to realize Yuko's final wish to return home, he reportedly studied for an hour each day in preparation to test for a diving certificate. And all his hard work paid off, as he now has passed the test. He has now set about honing his skills as a fully fledged diver for the summer, and says he won't give up diving until he finds Yuko. What do you think of this devoted husband's journey from driver to diver?
2 Singaporean nationals drowned at the weekend while scuba diving in Tiaoman Island, Malaysia. The accident took place near the Air Batang beach in Tiaoman Island. A husband and wife were diving with an instructor when the wife noticed her husband and the instructor were having breathing difficulties. She then surfaced to call for help. Other divers nearby helped to bring the victims to the beach, but both of them were confirmed dead. The 2 victims may have run out of air because they were using leftover oxygen from a diving session the previous day.